So, this one is a painting I abandoned and I refused to finish for many months. And I just recently picked up and brought to its final stage. And this other one is another painting I abandoned, but I decided to start all over again. And you're probably wondering, why do you worry about these two instead of picking up a fresh, new white canvas? It's way more convenient, right? I gotta say, there's a mysterious weight I carry every time I leave a painting halfway through, nearly as if there were ghosts waiting in the limbo, patiently roaming around for their turn, either to be erased or to be continued until it's done. Well, these little ghosts have been floating around my living room for more than 6 months now, and ironically, they've helped me snap back to reality. Because, you see, since I came back from Spain, I've tried many different ideas: animals, quick portraits, digital paintings, animation, master copies, all of that to ultimately improve my skills and have everything a successful artist has: a style, a continuous theme, a consistent voice, and of course, a wide audience that I don't have that loves their talent. The whole internet says that discipline goes over motivation. So, after some days, I pushed myself once again to create something, and what a surprise! I couldn't come up with anything. I put so much pressure on myself to be more skillful and recognizable that I completely blocked my creativity. Amazing, right? So, there I was, about to throw another day away, when I decided to check on my last collection: a series of 6 very well crafted paintings with a similar aura and a backstory. They look quite good, I thought. And I can't say I thought them through much. Nearly all of them I had done within 5 hours, so what is the problem then? I can create pieces fairly fast, which is a big flex, huh? And I paint alright. Then what's stopping me? I had to think things through, so on my way to make myself a very yummy matcha, I saw this specific painting. This one has always been around me. The living room has been its place ever since I started it, and I abandoned it once, I picked it up, but I never fully finished it because I thought I lacked knowledge. I didn't want to mess it up, you know? But no matter how many new things I tried to make myself a talented artist, they didn't have the spark this one has. Even unfinished, I could feel I had fun painting it. And that made me realize I might be looking at the wrong path, and that maybe my style is alright as it is, and it's probably fine to continue doing what I do, creating, but without thinking much about anyone else other than myself. So, after placing my Jamie Ridley study to give me some luck, I started working, once again, on this kissing scene. But this time to finish it once and for all. I could already feel the little ghost and a bright smile looking at me painting. And I was too, shining with it. Nothing makes me feel more alive than painting in a sunny, quiet afternoon. I've already talked about what I use and what not in other videos, so I'll show it quite fast. First of all, of course, my color palette. And after that, a bit of clover oil on top of the paint to keep it creamy, and refined linseed oil in case I need to remove paint from my brush or I need some more oil. After that, I have to collect my essentials: my glasses, the iPad to place the reference image, and a very, very comfy cushion. I recently bought it. It's very, very comfy. I wish they could like send it to me. You know when like YouTubers get gifts for free? Well, Muji, I'm here. Send me mochis. They're so very comfy. Anyway, so this painting began as a result of Tight Hug. That painting in my previous collection was the most liked by far, and it made me think about making more love-related artworks. When I have an idea for a painting, I have a very specific routine. Pay attention, because it's a very serious routine. It consists of scrolling through Pinterest. Yeah, through Pinterest. And until there's a picture that resonates with me. And usually, out of all the images I end up saving in my folder, there's only one specific picture that keeps calling me. And this picture, out of all of them, was the only one that showed a natural pose, a scene that didn't feel forced at all, and a color palette that matched perfectly with my style, earthy and warm. So after this, I'm ready to start the sketch. I don't have a footage of this, but I'll paint it digitally so you can see the process I followed. I first started by doing a quick positioning of my couple, the hands, and where the nose and the eyebrows are. Usually, setting where these are is more than enough to start painting more confidently. After this, I usually follow my gut. Sometimes I start by doing the background, setting a negative space where the subjects are, and other times I do the faces first and work from within the face outwards. And then sometimes I feel more artistic and I do a mix and put brushstrokes of colors here and there that come closer the more I go. And it would really be amazing if it finished here on one go, just like quick, easy. And sometimes my lucky angels help me and we manage to finish the painting fast and well, but most of the time I have to take some time to understand what is wrong with the painting, do some tests, sometimes by overlapping images, like so, and other times by painting over a picture of my artwork and fixing whatever feels strange to me. I don't usually care much if my painting is exactly the same as the reference or not, because my objective is to always transmit what I feel by looking at that image, the feeling it evokes in me, and be able to pass it on to the viewer. This is why when I correct mistakes, I take into account what is an actual mistake, so anatomical, lighting, values, etc., and what is simply a change in features or pose that doesn't really matter to accomplish my objective. When it's time to add the finishing touches, I love to go over what I already painted and make the brushstrokes more defined. I always thought that these kind of lines, especially if they have a visible change in hue or value, add a lot of security to the painting. Just like these images of different impressionists are like, I want to paint this way, like that's the objective, but I'm still working on it, so for now I'll fake it till I make it. I like to make some parts thicker, either with the width of the brush or with a bigger amount of paint. I also like to let some parts get loose. For example, in the hands, I wouldn't add more detail. I'm a big fan of anything that looks unfinished. So I try my best to give that effect to my paintings, either by doing fewer brushstrokes or by simplifying what I've already painted. One thing that I started doing in my paintings is adding little shades of purple or blue, either in the skin tone or the hair, and sometimes both. And I find it really fun to work with value and hue and add a color that shouldn't be there, but that makes the image way more interesting. It's a simple detail that I played around with and I enjoy so much. And I know that I'm very close to finishing a painting when I start to doubt, what else do I have to work on? When I reach this moment, it's very important that I take some time off. I put my artwork somewhere else where I cannot see it, and it's at this time when my eyes get used to other things, get distracted, and I can easily detect visible mistakes when I check it again. These mistakes I see are things that I could have seen, but that I don't because I get too focused on the painting. So it has happened that months after I can see way more mistakes due to me improving over time, but I have this rule of not touching my past paintings once they are signed, so if I see anything wrong, it stays. The mistake is there forever. Thankfully, because of my fixing phase, I don't find many mistakes when I'm about to finish a painting, and that is why I really recommend that you step out of the painting, breathe, because when you're so close to finishing the painting, you don't want to see those mistakes that you could have avoided. The second painting is this kissing scene that I completely wanted to erase. I was really excited to do this one. When I saw this image, which I think belongs to a movie, I'm not sure, I was so in love with the feeling it had. It was an impressive amount of lust and love, and I wanted to have that in one of my love-related paintings as soon as possible. But it turned out to be very difficult to do because I'm not used to using cold colors for a painting, mainly because I dislike it. But I pushed it as much as I could, and I didn't like the outcome at all. Sometimes it's just that I'm having a bad day and I just have to give it some time, but the more it went, the worse it got. I couldn't fix it and I wasn't doing anything extremely wrong for it to look so bad to me. I tried to make the faces way lighter as if they had some diffused light in front of them, but I was already quite mad with this artwork, so I didn't put much effort and I ended up accepting my defeat and erasing it. And yeah, it does happen sometimes. You gotta start over to be able to make something good out of the canvas you have. But it's not the first time. I always give my canvas a second or even a third try. That means that I'm going to do various paintings over and over each other until I end up with one that I don't want to erase. And luckily, this square canvas was quite small, so it took close to nothing to paint over and dry. And while the gesso is drying, it's time to choose what to do on top. Sometimes I do this step before to know how many layers of gesso, but this time it was a bit chaotic, so yeah. So, you do remember I use Pinterest, right? Here I have a folder that is called To Make Seriously. It's in Catalan, but just trust me, it means that, okay? It's a folder in which I collect images that I would like to make as part of my painting series. And it also kind of helps me see if I have a consistent style or vibe, which is kind of cool. For this little square, I decided to pick an image of a bunch of bunnies on top of each other. I think the reason why I chose this one is not only because it fits perfectly, but because doing so many animals in such a little space looks so claustrophobic. And the fact that they are white and sleepy has a very creepy vibe to it, or so I think. And I deeply, deeply adore this kind of huge, creepy feeling in an image. And I don't know why, nearly all my paintings until now have been very soft and dreamlike and quite intimate in a way. I like that this one has a similar feeling, and by that I mean that you could find a bunny in a field, but it has this slightly unsettling aura that I've been looking for recently. A small Rima story time. When I was in Spain, I didn't feel like painting traditionally at all, so I spent as much time as possible drawing digitally. Because I'm mainly a traditional artist, I took this time to practice the things that I'm worst at: foreshortening and economy of brushstrokes. While practicing, I came across a brush that I was very comfortable with. It allowed me to do very decisive, small color changes, but also blend other parts. When I came back, I thought, hold up, if I paint something digitally, plan the brushstrokes, and then copy that on traditional, maybe my workflow is faster. So I did exactly that. I did a portrait and I copied it on traditional, and it turns out that I had to think way less than I usually do. And less effort or brainless work results in faster timings when painting. And because of that little experiment, I decided to make the painting of the bunnies first on digital. Anyhow, the process of my painting, especially at the beginning, is exactly the same as it was. Positioning the subjects, making sure the most important values are well placed, etc. Nothing new, so I won't show much of it. I ended up changing this painting quite a lot. I really liked my first sketch, but the colors didn't quite click. I didn't like making a painting so monochromatic. I ended up choosing a bluish gray and a mix of magenta and cadmium orange for the pinkish parts. Choosing these two as main colors allowed me to do my favorite finishing stage, the purple spots. I can't control myself, it's too pretty to add purple. Okay, so now that they are both finished, it's time to calculate their prices. The kissing scene is 46 per 38 centimeters, that's 1748 centimeters square. I priced my work at 1.1 per centimeter square for now, since I'm still an emerging artist. So if we do the calculation, it's around 1,900 euros. This includes a signed certificate of authenticity, worldwide insured shipping, and an option to split payments over 2, 4, or 6 months. Because art should be accessible even if it's an original. Fair, right? Now, this second piece is 30 per 30, that's 900 centimeters square, so 900 per 1.1 is 1,170 euros. Why does saying exact numbers in English feel so difficult? And because I'm so happy I managed to finish it well, after who knows how many tries, I'll do a little discount and price it at 1,160. If you want either of these two, they are available right now on my website. And if you like them but want something more personal, well, commissions are an option too, but that's a topic for another video. So after finishing these two paintings, I can finally explain why. That pressure coming from unsolved artistic projects, hobbies half done, or even serious personal projects that never see the light of day. All the weight they take mentally is nothing else than ghosts. Little tiny spirits that grow from the desire of wanting to continue, and they either get released or get more friends. Now, next time you find an unfinished project and feel that strange guilt in you, you know that the little ghost is probably staring right at you.